What's up guys, I'm back with the vlog. Feels good to be back. I was away last week, so that's why you weren't seeing so many videos coming out. We were at the ABS Chicago show. That hair show was pretty cool. We did a lot of fun things. The whole Free Salon Education team was out there, so hopefully we got to say hi to you. Today on the vlog, I'm super psyched because we did a men's cut. Obviously, you can see him staring right there. We did a men's cut, but I did a combo cut of scissors, razor, a few different things to create the texture that you're gonna see in this longer men's cut. The great thing about this cut is that it's very versatile and it's for those guys that are growing out their fade. It gives them a goal to go towards when they're trying to grow their hair out. So a lot of guys are trying to grow their hair long now instead of fading it out. So this is definitely a good transition cut for you. And that's pretty much it. So I use my DB20 scissor from Mizutani, also my 7-inch solid scissor. I use the Chopstick Pro from Donald Scott. All of this stuff that we have on freesaloneducation.com. I think you're gonna dig the technique, and if you love tools, this is definitely the cut for you. Very simple, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna get started. Let's go. Here we go with the step-by-step. All right, guys, so we're going to start off by taking a center parting. What I want to do is I want to split the head in half because I'm going to work on each half of the head, but I wanted to work from the occipital bone over. So that's just the easiest way. Most men's cuts you're going to create are going to start with a balanced structure. So sectioning in a balanced way works the best. So we're going to start off by taking a vertical section straight out from the head. Now, elevation is the key to this haircut being in a form of what men are going to like. What I wanted to do is create layering, not too much graduation. So in the back, the occipital bone kind of bends down towards the nape. So what I'm doing is I'm elevating up higher than that to create that kind of at least 90-degree, if not a little bit higher angle in the haircut. Everything's coming over to the previous section, so traveling guide across the back of the head, and we're just working our way all the way over to the corner. So everything's just going to keep coming straight back, creating that more balanced shape in the back of the head. Now you'll notice that I shift the way I hold my scissor towards the bottom section. That's just so I don't have to twist my wrist too much. It's just a technique that you'll see some people using just for a comfort thing more than anything. So working my way down. Now, what I've done is obviously created a lot of length on the bottom. We're going to go through and cut that later using a different technique. So when I'm doing hair cutting, I'm not always going straight for what I want the length to be. I'm working with the layers first, getting the layers where I want them, and then I'll deal with the length later throughout the cut. So I'm keeping my body position the same. Now when I'm going through, I'm scooping the hair, so I'm doing more of a backhand comb technique. What that's going to do is keep the consistency of how I've been combing the hair throughout the entire cut. We've talked about this multiple times, every vlog on always combing towards your guideline. So my guideline is coming from the center or from the left. So I'm combing the hair towards the left to meet the guideline. Anytime you move your guide or you comb your guide towards the new hair, you're shifting your guide from where it lives and you're going to throw off your entire haircut. So scooping that hair, bringing it to the guide, and then just working that palm to palm technique the same exact way that I did on the opposite side. This is building our structure. This is really setting the layers in the back of the head. This is the most important part of the cut, because if this is too bulky or too built up, too graduated, it's not going to look like a men's cut. It's going to look like a women's cut, and that's not what we want. Or it could get mullety if we leave it too long. So really getting those layers right. Now, a lot of you are probably asking, well, how do I get the layers right? How do I pick the length of the layers? I think it's just based on your guest. So just figure out where you think the layers are going to be comfortable and then give them maybe a month's worth of growth so they can come back in and get it cleaned up. Now we want to round off the back. I don't want to square it. The reason I want to round it is because I'm going to connect it to the back portion. So we started off, I used my DB20 scissor. Now I'm using my Chopstick Pro from Donald Scott. This is another, I think $35 to $39 tool on Free Salon Education. I love this tool for women's cutting and men's cutting, but this is where if I want to get in tighter to the head. So we use the carving comb when we're working with layering and texturizing. With this is more for a precision type feel if you want to get really close to your section. More like a feather razor. So I'm combing and I'm working the angle across, creating that horizontal line, and then I just shift into the corner and round that corner off, which kind of gives it a nice hug to the hairline. So now I comb the hair in the direction I want to part it. That's another key thing that I like to do. I like to get the hair flowing and then go for my parting. It just keeps you from getting tangled up in the hair. And then I'm working diagonal back. So I want to start off, I'm going to find my connection point. Now this doesn't have to be exact. It's how long do you want the front of the hair to be? I want him to be able to tuck this hair back. So I'm going to go a little bit longer with it. And my strokes with the razor are nice and heavy because that's going to give me a lot more texture in the haircut. So you'll notice that a nice heavy stroke through there. It's going to give me a very point-cutted feel. Point-cutted, if that's a word. I'm going to go through there and just do those heavy strokes, create that texture. Guys' hair is all about texture at this length because it's not only going to give them a cool look, but it's also going to take out a lot of the bulk, which is what we want to accomplish. Now, if they have finer hair, you might want to create some more solid lines in there because they're already going to have that separation and definition in the haircut. So just working the round of the head, diagonal back sectionings, following the round of the head. And the elevation is nice and high. I want to create layers. I do not want to create too much graduation. Once you get to the top part, like around this point right here, there's a little bit of graduation happening, but because of the heaviness of the strokes on the razor, you're really breaking down that graduation. So you can see how the flow just works. I love this technique. Like I said in the beginning, this is a great haircut for guys that are trying to grow their hair out. You could wear this haircut until it's about down to your shoulders. So you would do the same exact technique, just keep working it a little bit longer each time. So flowing into the back, this is absolutely at graduation at this point because the crown of the head is our top point. So coming straight out off the crown would be 90 degrees. So we're at almost 0. But again, heavy strokes of the razor helps counteract the heavy density that might happen in the haircut. Same thing on the other side, working that diagonal back section, connecting it to the back portion that we cut at the beginning. Heavy strokes with the razor, keeping that razor blade at 45 degrees. I've seen a lot of people in classes that keep the razor at 90 degrees to the hair, which is scraping the cuticle, and that ruins the hair. You want to keep that blade at 45 degrees. It should feel like you're barely cutting anything when you're cutting with the razor as you go over the hair. That's how you know you're doing it correct. So keep working diagonal back. Heavy strokes, like I said, creating that texture, taking out that density. That's the beauty of working with the razor. I love working in the middle part with the razor. The beginning I was building that structure, so you could do it with the razor as well, but I like building stronger structures for my base with harder lines and then going through and softening the lines over top of the haircut. I think a lot of people get caught up with the fact that, all right, I started it with a scissor, so now I got to finish it with the scissor. You don't have to do that. You have many tools to do the job, and there's different ways of going about different things. So the razor is going to create a completely different look than the scissor, and they go well together. So now we're going to work through the top, taking horizontal sections across the top. The first one, we're going to work as our guide. Our guide is coming from the back to connect the front and back. Then I'm going to work that horizontal section, over direct it to the previous until I get to the middle of the head. Then I'm going to over direct everything all the way back to the middle of the head to create extra length in the front. So you can see that there. The reason I want to create that extra length in the front is because he's going to toss it back, and I don't want this haircut to look like it's following the round of the head. I want that kind of heaviness to flop over the top. I think that's what gives this haircut kind of a cool look. So over directing everything back using a lot of point cutting. This is back with my DB20 scissor again. This is my favorite all around wet hair, dry hair scissor. Is a 5.7 inch DB20 from Mizutani that we have on Free Salon Education. Now this is the Mizutani Solid. This is my 7-inch scissor that I love for scissor over comb. The reason I like a longer scissor for scissor over comb is just the amount of hair that you can cut at the same time as you're working. And also the Solid scissor. This is a brand new scissor. This is the titanium version. The cool thing about it is that because it has the titanium plating, it's even stronger and it just flows through that hair so fast. So even though it's a 7-inch scissor, which would normally get weak towards the tip, it's not weak whatsoever. So really dig that scissor for scissor over comb. Now, when you get the titanium plating, just so you guys know, if you order it on our site, it's a $50 upgrade, and it takes a little bit longer to get the scissor if we don't have it in stock. But it's worth it. Now we're going to go through with the tip of the Chopstick Pro and just work the edge. This is great for women's cutting and men's cutting, just to soften and create more texture around the edges of the haircut. Now I'm going to go through blow drying just with my hands, not a lot of drying. Now, a big mistake that guys make is they put product in their wet hair. Now, the products that are normally made for guys are water soluble, so they rinse out easy. So if you put them in wet hair, it dilutes the product too much, and then they just end up looking greasy. So you get it about 90%, 80% dry, and then put in, we're using the Ruzel Blue Pomade, which is just a really thick, firmer hold pomade, but it still gives a lot of movement to the hair and a lot of shine. So I dig this product for this cut. If I had the right hair, I would definitely wear this cut. I love the length in the back. I love the top just kind of kicked over. So I hope you guys like this cut. Definitely check out more of our cuts every day at 10 a.m. on this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out freesaloneducation.com. If you guys like this cut, make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this video. Just copy the link, share this video with all your friends, and make sure that you hit that little button that allows you to get an alert every time we post a video, so you guys can stay on top of everything that we're doing, because we're posting videos every day. So make sure that you're on our list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's vlog. Today I have a special vlog for you guys because I have a live model. His name is Nico. It's a men's cut. It's got disconnection, all kinds of fun stuff going on in the haircut. Also, a bunch of things that I wouldn't have personally done to his haircut. So I'm gonna make some adjustments to it as I go. This is definitely a work in progress, but I wanna kind of show you guys that process, because we get a lot of clients coming in that have haircuts that are not so perfect, and we have to make adjustments to it to start it on the track to being the way that you would want to cut it in the salon. So I know you guys are gonna like it because of all the adjustments that we're gonna make to the haircut. So we're gonna get started. Let's get started with our step-by-step. Here we go. All right, guys, so this is Nico, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off by assessing his hair. I've never cut his hair before, so like I said in the beginning, this is gonna be some adjustments that we're gonna make to the haircut. So I look at the hairline, I look at how his hair grows, and I start talking to him about lengths that he wants to keep on the top and how short he wants the sides and all of that. Now we're gonna go in, we're gonna shampoo him. This is the He's a 10 shampoo, 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash. They sent this to me. It's the first time I've used it, but I wanted to try it out. Definitely left his hair feeling nice and soft, cleansed the hair really well. I think the most important thing as a guy is to have a nice deep cleansing shampoo, especially if you use a lot of products. So I'm sure you guys have heard of It's a 10. Well, this is He's a 10, so brand new product, and I'm gonna give it a shot. Like I said, the 3-in-1 shampoo, they also sent me a gel and a styling cream to put on the hair at the end. So we're gonna use those products to style. So when I looked at Nico's haircut and I sectioned it all off, you can see that the way that they sectioned the top, whoever previously cut his hair, it was very symmetrical in the top, but in the back it kind of goes asymmetrical. So the part wasn't exactly the way that I would want it. So what I'm gonna do is, as I cut the hair, I'm gonna build up that weight line on the right hand side to start growing the hair a little bit. Nico also said to me right away was that he wanted to do kind of a top knot on his hair. That was his goal. So I'm going to keep the top nice and long. So we're going to start off, I blew dry the hair after I shampooed it. So I shampooed to get all of the stuff out of it and also work all those cowlicks out with the nice warm water. And then I go through and I blow dry with my comb to get all of the hair going in the right direction. Just gives a smoother transition when you go in to do the slight fade on the hair or the graduation or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to use a few different techniques to create the sides of the haircut. I'm going to start off using a clipper technique with a number 2 guard on the Andis Pro Alloy clipper. Great thing about this clipper, if you guys don't know about it, it's a new clipper from Andis they sent me, and it has a cooling technology to it, so it doesn't get hot like the other clippers. So if you're doing multiple haircuts in a row and your clipper tends to get pretty hot, this is a great clipper for that. It's also got a lot of power to it when it goes in to cut the hair. So we're starting from the temple, working back down to the nape, using that 2 guard fully open. When I mean by open is the blade is at its longest point. So, and using that 2 guard, like I said. So just working with the grain, against the grain, just getting a nice smooth transition. What you'll notice about Nico's hair, you can see it right in his hairline, how that hair kind of curves and grows in different patterns. So it's really important that when you're going through with your clipper work, that you go at it at different angles, just to get every bit of hair the same length as you're working through it. So just fine tuning the side. Now we're going to move into the Andis Supra ZR. This video is not sponsored by Andis. It just happens that they like to send me clippers, which I really enjoy. So thank you, Andis. This is a cordless clipper. So I really love this one for the freedom that I have in the salon. It's also super powerful. It has, I believe, 5 different speed settings. So you can decide how much power, how fast you want that blade to move. And what I'm going to do is just go through and do some clipper over comb. Clipper over comb is something that I do quite a bit in the salon. I'm using my YS Park 209 comb. I chose the white version of it because I'm working with darker hair. It just allows me to see that hair coming through a little bit easier. And I'm just working that graduated line that we're creating, kind of layering it up a little bit and smoothing the transition from the short hair to the longer hair on the sides. So you could do that with a clipper guard as well. It's just not the way that I like to do it. I like to go through it with clipper over comb. The other thing I love about clipper over comb is the fact that there's different highs and lows within somebody's head shape. There's divots in people's heads, so it creates shadows. So if you're doing clipper over comb, you can kind of go a little bit deeper when there's those shadows, so it helps transition that fade a little bit better. So now I'm assessing that part. So you can see how the part really works its way up towards the center crown of his head. I want that part to go a little bit more straight over, following the parietal ridge a little bit more, but that's unfortunately not how the haircut is. So I have to make some adjustments myself. So we go in, we do scissor over comb work throughout the sides, and I just leave it a little bit longer towards that back crown area. So then later on, once that grows out, I can start working it into the top of the haircut. So to create the top of the haircut, we're going to keep it nice and simple. Like I said, he wants to wear it in a top knot in the very back. So I want the hair to all be able to reach the back. So we're going to create a almost triangular feel. So we're going to push all that weight to the front and keep it nice and heavy so he can flip it back into the crown of his head. He could also tie it up if he wants to, but it's nice to have it not undone, like have it have a purpose. So I go through, just clean it up, and then we're going to blow it dry. So now the reason I'm going to blow it dry is because I want to create some texture and make it a little bit lighter on the top of the head. Nico has very, very thick hair. So after I get through doing the details on the sides, what I'm going to do is just go through and do some point cutting on the top. So this is trimmer over comb, just working some details around the edges of his haircut. Just keeping it nice and natural. I'm not trying to get fancy with the sides of the haircut. You can see how that 209 comb will bend its way through the head shape. That's very helpful. Like I said, the head has different highs and lows in it, so this comb kind of allows it to sink down in there and create those nice beveled looks to it. So a little trimmer over comb, finishing up, fine-tuning the details, trying to keep it nice and natural in the back. Nice kind of rounded feel to it, and taking it nice and tight, but not too tight. I'm not trying to make this a skin fade. Some of you guys out there might like it. If you're great at doing a skin fade, go ahead. No one's holding you back from that. So now I'm going to go through, finish it off with some point cutting. I'm actually using my Pen Slim scissor for this portion of it. So I did the Blacksmith Fit Solid in the scissor over comb portion, which was a 7-inch scissor. This is a 6-inch fine blade scissor. Thing I love about this is it does have a lot of power. It's nano powder metal, so it grips the hair, but it's nice and sleek, so it gets into the hair exactly the way that I want it. One of my favorite scissors. So it's a Mizutani Pen Slim 6-inch scissor. So I'm going nice and deep with that point cut as I work through my fingers, over directing everything to the very back. So as I'm point cutting, I'm bringing everything back to where I cut it in the original part of the haircut. So I'm not trying to change the shape at all. Finishing up those details. This is just taking it a little bit tighter around the edges. Just keep it nice and soft. Now we're going to do his eyebrows. I like doing the eyebrows with a scissor because I feel like I have a little bit more control, and I feel like I'm cutting more one eyebrow at a time rather than going through with a clipper and taking off multiple at a time. So sometimes I'll use a trimmer, but for the most part I like to use a scissor to clean that up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some hair color to his hair because, and only because, his friends decided to bet him that he wouldn't frost his tips or something like that. So he decided to frost his own tips. So now the tips of his hair have blonde on them, and that's all. So what I want to do is get this back to normal. So I go through, this is Vibra color. It's permanent hair color, but I'm using a 10 volume to keep it nice and soft. I didn't want the translucency of a demi-permanent color, so I just went in there and I'm using the Vibra color to bring it back to his natural in the very back. I don't need highlights in the disconnected part of the back. It's already going to have that kind of separation feel to it. So I do paint a little bit of extra color, even in parts that weren't colored, because I think as a rule, it's always good to add any of that color that you're already adding to it, add it in other places, just in case, just to soften the feel of it. So now I'm going to go through, this is with Wella Free Lights, and I'm going to paint some highlights in there. Now, he was up to highlights. Now, obviously, he didn't need frosted tips, but if we just kind of balayage some highlighted pieces, kind of hand paint some pieces in there, just gives it a nice fresh look to the cut. Kind of pulls it all together. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking diagonal forward sections. You can really just pick pieces out that you're looking to highlight and paint freely throughout the top of the head. You're not trying to complicate this. Now, the complicated part is how you paint the pieces. So what I'm doing is I'm taking bigger chunks of hair, holding them into a triangular shape, and then just painting the top surface of the hair color. The reason that I'm painting it back off of his face is because that's what you're going to see when he pulls his hair back. So I don't want to paint the underneath. I wouldn't pull the hair forward towards his face when I'm painting it. So you can see I grab those big chunks, pinch them together with my fingers, just like you would do with women's hair, and then I paint the edges and the top portion of the section, and then allow that to lay over top. So this is a real quick, easy add-on for guys. And this is something that, you know, I color 80% of the guys that get into my chair. And the reason is because I just do simple, quick techniques like this, and I don't make it a weird thing. It's just making nice, natural feeling looks to the guy's hair, and doing it really quick. So for this, I would probably charge an extra $25, $30, depending on where you are and where your area is. You could be more or less, but I base it on the amount of time it takes me. This took me literally 5 minutes to do, a half an ounce of color, and I was done. Now I'm using the Minerva color processor. This is also great for guys because it allows you to process his hair in 10 minutes. So I process the entire thing in 10 minutes, rinse it out, and you have your final look. Just kind of rotates around the head, has a little heat feel to it, but it's also processing and allowing. You see how bright that highlight is? That was 10 minutes later, and there you go. So now we're going to style it. This is the He's a 10 gel. Now that gel is coming out so slow. That's actually sped up. It's a very thick gel. And I did like that. I liked the shine that it gave. It smelled good. And it had a nice hold. But then once I started to blow it dry, the thing I did like about this product a lot is that his hair had hold, but it didn't feel sticky. And that was really what I was hoping for when I went to style it. Because guys' hair, you don't want it to feel like it has a ton of product in it, especially when you're blow drying it. So we're blow drying it to get it to lay exactly where we want it. Then what I'm going to do is go in with the other shaping product and create the exact finished look that we're going for. But you can see the shine coming off of his hair. So this is the It's a 10 Miracle Pliable Paste. And I think the miracle about this product and what is really crazy about it, it smells good, first off. That's not the miracle though. The feel of it in your hands feels like, a little bit sticky, but then as soon as I got it in the hair, it has so much hold to it. You could really mold the hair wherever you wanted it to, but it wasn't super greasy. So that was one of my favorite parts about the product. Again, this isn't a sponsored video by them. They just sent me the product to try it out, but I do really enjoy the product. I like the gel first and then putting this Miracle Pliable Paste in it to give it a nice finished look to the haircut. You can see those highlights popping through, and that is our end result. So hope you guys like the video. Definitely let me know. I hope you like the little color add-in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. So thank you guys for watching this. All right, guys, like always, if you like this cut, then hit that thumbs up button below. Also, hit the subscribe button if you have not done that already. And I have 2 new announcements to make. If you're not a hairdresser and you watch this video and you're looking for a great hair salon to go to, then use our hairsalonlocator.com website. It's brand new. It's got salons that follow FSE and are a part of our FSE partnership program, so you can find a great salon to go to near you. We're adding new salons daily, so make sure you keep up to date on that. And if you're a hairdresser and you want to be a part of the FSE partnership program, all you have to do is go to freesaloneducation.com, click the link. I'll put a link below for that. The FSE partner program is $19.99 a month. You get live classes monthly. You also get access to our super secret Facebook group, and also you can get put on our hairsalonlocator.com website so that people that watch these videos can find your salon out there as well, or you as a stylist individually. So remember, the link is below in the comments. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, post those in the comments below as well. I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks. And guys, remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below because you could win this VibraStraight iron. Good luck. Let me know in the comments below if you've subscribed. Thanks.